Let's talk more to that person who's dropped out of ketosis. And let's say they've been in ketosis for 2-3 months, metabolism's adjusted, but they go to the cottage and they're a little bit more lenient with what they're eating. They fall out of ketosis. How quickly can the mental health challenges come back on? And then it's all lost at that point. They've done all this work. They've cut down the carbs. They're feeling better. But is it different going back into ketosis a second time after, say, having a few days out of it?
Oh, this is a great question because this happens all the time. That's what happens in real life, and it's really important not to worry about that. What you need to do is say, okay, how do I get back into ketosis quickly so that I can get back to my healthy state? So your first question is, how long does it take for mental health symptoms to come back? That depends on who you are, but they can come back as quickly as 24 hours, depending on who you are and how long you've been on the diet already and what kind of mental health problem you were up against. But I've seen it happen many, many times that it can be as little as 24 hours. So you can see those symptoms come roaring back. But this is going to happen because none of us are perfect, and ketones aren't stable anyway. It's a very dynamic system. Metabolism is very dynamic. They're not going to be in the perfect range, whatever that means. They're not even going to be in the ideal range all the time. But they need to be in your personal therapeutic range relatively consistent, like most of the time, in order for you to feel well. And if you fall out of ketosis, it's not about thinking, oh, all is lost. Now I've just, destroyed all the progress that I made, all that hard work that I did over the past 2 or 3 months to achieve this wonderful metabolic state of mind. That doesn't get thrown out the window, because it takes actually quite a long time for all of those benefits to erase themselves. You might get symptoms creeping back within 24 hours, but that doesn't mean that you're back to square one. It just means it's your body's way of saying, wait a minute, we don't like this. Let's get back on track here. It's a little warning that, you want to go back to your healthy place. But all is not lost. In fact, it's actually a wonderful, in a way, when it happens, it's kind of a wonderful thing because it's a good reminder. Like, oh, wait a minute, why was I doing this diet again? Oh, right. It's because I really feel awful when I don't eat this way. So it's like a warning sign to help you get back on track, but it's also a learning opportunity, right? So none of us is perfect at anything. When we're trying to learn how to do something new, we make mistakes, and that's how we learn. And the more mistakes you make, the faster you learn. So you take that information, like, oh, I wonder what happened. Let's say you did it on purpose. If you did it on purpose, you know what happened. But what happens if you didn't do it? What happens if the ketones have just gone for a few days and you don't really even know why? It's an opportunity to learn. Okay, what did I do differently the past few days? Have I been eating differently at this cottage? Was that keto-friendly thing that I thought was keto-friendly that I haven't had in a while? Maybe that wasn't so keto-friendly. I've been eating more frequently than usual. I haven't been in my usual exercise routine. I've been under more stress, whatever it is. And so you can use it to learn. Okay, I wonder if I could do things differently next time. You get curious about what happened, and remain, this is so important, non-judgmental. It does not make you a bad person. This is not about morality or ethics or character strength or anything. It's just information that you can use to do things differently next time, because that's how we learn. We learn by making mistakes and getting curious.
I think it's really important we went there. All healing is not lost. It's not like inflammation, oxidative stress, insulin resistance are all skyrocketed like before the journey began. I think it's important for people embarking on this to know that and allow the pressure to dissipate.
A lot of healing has already taken place. So the longer you stay on a ketogenic diet, the more healing takes place. And you're not going to undo all that healing in 2 or 3 days. It's when you eat the wrong way, when you eat in an unhealthy way, your body and brain will let you know it, but it's you're not going back to square one. You've already invested a lot of time in improving the health of every cell in your body, and that doesn't get erased overnight. So it's just a matter of okay, how do I get back to my healthy place? And what can I do differently next time if I want to stay in this healthy place more often? Very few people are in therapeutic ketosis every minute of every day. It is normal and natural for ketones to fluctuate. It is normal and natural to have days when the ketones just aren't there. And sometimes it's stress related. Sometimes it has to do with, like medication. Sometimes it has to do with food choices. Sometimes it has to do with, oh, maybe I didn't exercise as much, or maybe I exercised too much. Exercise does draw on your ketone levels, and it's normal to see ketone levels go down right after intense exercise. That makes sense. Ketones are a source of energy. So it's also normal to see ketone levels lower first thing in the morning. You're still perfectly capable of waking up in ketosis, but the ketones may be lower first thing in the morning, and that's because of a natural rise in stress hormone levels at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's just a circadian rhythm. So there are other forces at play that are dictating your ketone levels, and some of these you don't have a lot of control over. So don't worry too much about ketone levels not being stable or perfect. What you're really trying to do is get yourself into a range of potentially therapeutic ketone levels that work well for you, and to be there as often as you can. It doesn't have to be 100% of the time, and in most cases, it's not going to be. But even if you're in ketosis, even 50% of every day, that's still an awful lot better than not being in ketosis for any part of the day. And so, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And you'll figure out for yourself how often you need to be in ketosis, how deeply you need to be in ketosis. You'll figure out for yourself what you need, what your mental and physical health need. Because some people need higher ketone levels than others. Some people need more consistent ketone levels than others. Some people need to be very, very strict in the beginning because they've had more metabolic damage, or they're older, or they've been more sedentary, or they've had more inflammation, or they're taking certain medications. And so each one of us has different requirements, metabolic requirements. So just as you go along, just do the best you can to learn about your own metabolism and try different things out until you find your personal happy metabolic rhythm, which is going to be where you feel your best. And you're going to feel it. You're going to know, oh, I feel really good today. You wake up feeling really good. You have good energy. Your mood is good. You're feeling sharp. And you check those ketones on the meter, and what are they? Let's say they're 1.2. You're like, oh, this feels really good. If you wake up and you're like, oh, the day I'm feeling kind of pessimistic. I don't really feel like doing anything. I'm kind of worried about this and that, kind of sluggish. Check those ketones and see if they're lower than, what if they're 0.5 or 0.4? This is how you learn what your personal therapeutic range is. Because for some people, it's going to be much, much stricter. They're going to need a much stricter window than other people. So that's how you figure it out for yourself. It's personalized. So you might only need your ketones to be at 0.7, 0.8 to feel great. I might need mine to be at 1.5 or 1.8 to feel great. Everyone's a little bit different.
Since you made it to the end of this clip, I know you're going to love the full episode. Click here to watch. I'll see you over there.
What if your healthy diet has been the problem all along? That's what a lot of people are discovering. There's real power in feeding your brain properly and letting it try to heal.